Describe the community plan for La Ventana Ranch.
Sure, all great communities, no matter how big or small, have two things, part science and part art. We've looked really closely for La Ventana at, the functionality, access, location, the sciences, but we've also looked at how do you create a great community where people want to be. And that's not some abstract notion of beauty, it's actually a place where people want to be. And the part art is also context of how it connects in its setting. So the plan for La Ventana has taken all that into consideration. It's a place where people can live, where they can walk. We've got extensive trails, open space, parks, excellent buffers. As you arrive on the project, it feels welcoming with extensive landscaping and connections to place.
So, Ken, what is the importance of the buffers?
Particularly here in this setting in Riverside County, there's a sense of a bit of nostalgia of open space. There's long distance views. There's adjacent areas that have some sense of semi-rural. The area is changing. We believe that change is a good thing if it takes into consideration the history of place. So we've got significant buffers that allow for a relaxed setting with trails and open space on the entire perimeter of the project, as well as connecting internally through drainage areas and connections to the future high school and park areas next to the project as well.
And on a broader scale, how is the project connected to other parts of Riverside County in terms of the trail system and so forth?
We've incorporated and looked very closely at the overall master plan for trails. We've taken that into consideration. Connections are one of our fundamental design principles for this project. And so the project overall connects to the proposed and existing trail system, as well as brings that into the site for our future residents as well.
Thinking about La Ventana Ranch in terms of its special nature, what 3 or 4 things come to mind immediately that you believe makes La Ventana Ranch a very special place?
Well, it is unique, notwithstanding the open space and trail elements that we just discussed. There's also a 15-acre regional park that's included, which we're really excited about. It includes a memorial for military veterans. There's a certain sense of topography that provided a great location for that memorial for the veterans as part of the overall vision. We're also adjacent to the future high school site, and we've incorporated drainage areas and trail connections to the high school as well. So if you live in La Ventana, you'll be able to connect to the high school from a walking perspective, which we think is very unique, particularly in this area of Riverside County.
So describe the architecture and why these architectural styles were selected for this community.
Yeah, similar to the discussion about open space and buffers, which we didn't want this to feel like a subdivision, so we have asymmetrical landscaping, by the way. That means, one side of the street a little bit wider than the other. We carried that theme through the architecture as well, basically the California vernacular. We focused the architecture to be ranch or farmhouse or craftsman that evokes earlier California in terms of the overall architectural theme.
And just getting a little bit more deeper into the parks and open space that are part of La Ventana Ranch, can you give a little bit more detail
Sure.
On the parks and the open space?
Yeah. We decided not to make them all the same. So wherever you live within La Ventana, there's a small neighborhood park that is the center or the heart of that particular area of the overall project. Those are connected through a network of trails that connects to the larger regional park where the Veterans Memorial is going to be located, as well as a special needs park, and provides throughout the project on major roadways, you're terminating on an open space element, so there's a visual and physical connection to those spaces as well. And because of their different size, we have different uses within each of those parks also.
And what are some of the sustainable principles that are incorporated in the community plan?
Yeah, we worked really hard with our landscape architect and our engineer. There is drainage areas within the project. We utilize those for sustainable purposes, for retention of water and for responding to water quality needs, not just to have a retention area, but actually incorporate that from a landscape perspective into the overall theming for the project. And that, along with the extensive trails and walking, we're going to encourage a really strong pedestrian environment with the project as well.
And in terms of creating a very distinct place, what role will a new high school play in creating that distinctive sense of place?
Well, it's certainly an energizer, and you know, we've been really fortunate over the years to use those energizers as, you know, key elements of future development. In this case, the high school is unique. Anytime you can bring in education to help with residential living, it elevates the place. It adds value. And we think by paying attention to that high school site, the adjacent regional park, the trail system, and future residential that does speak and evoke architecture from the California vernacular, we think that helps create great